If you want people to listen to what you have to say, your business idea, or you want them to buy your stuff because you're sure what your offer is going to improve their life, their business, or give them a specific outcome, then you must know how to master a 7 to 10 seconds introduction that helps sell your stuff. And it doesn't really matter if you're trying to pass your message in person or a website, an email or social media post in marketing, sales page or video scripts, whatever medium you choose to communicate your idea. As someone myself who has helped service-based businesses attract clients and drive consistent sales just by tweaking their messaging, I can tell you for sure, selling your ideas, service, product isn't about saying more. It's about saying the right things in the right order. Because you see, if you start out in the right order, you spark curiosity in the minds of your readers or listeners, and they become interested and eager to know what you do, and this leads to them building trust with your brand. So how do we begin? These 6 frameworks or formula I have carefully prepared is how top entrepreneurs online get so much attention to their message. And nothing beats attention in business, because when you have attention, you are sure going to make sales online. But first, in order to make good use of these frameworks, there's a false assumption about attention that is spreading out there. And this has made business create mediocre messaging because of this incorrect narrative. It is believed that human attention is less than that of a goldfish. My friend, this is not correct, because podcasts are more popular than ever, with 1 to 3 hours worth of podcasts being watched thousands and thousands of times, and people binge their favorite TV shows for weeks without missing a scene. I know this may seem like a lengthy introduction to this video, but I personally believe in value-based content that shares depth and nuances rather than just another how-to or me-too kind of content. And secondly, I believe those who spend money spend time to read and listen. So if you're going to sell to people with money, you need to go deep with your values. So what is attention? Attention is your currency in today's online business. If you don't have it, you are sunk. You don't exist. Literally. If what you write or say isn't getting attention or views, that's a sign that you need to improve on your persuasion. There are many areas to focus on in your writing to improve persuasion, but for simplicity, let's focus on how you can frame your big idea within the first 7 to 10 seconds. Now, I meant this when I said we do not have short attention span. What we actually have is a short, is this what's my time span? Because if you don't give people what they need to hear the very moment they listen to you, in the first 7 to 10 seconds, you lose them. People are ready to listen to you regardless of how lengthy your message is. If you can't capture attention in the first 7 to 10 seconds as a business online, you don't exist. So that's why understanding who you speak to will help a great deal. The mistake a lot of businesses make is that they use a lot of industry jargons, buzzwords, or focus so much on themselves. Using industry jargons confuses people. Buzzwords is speaking over people's head, and focusing on yourself with the I am turns people off immediately. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you these 6 frameworks and how you can use it for your business. Now, for illustration purposes, let's assume that you are a therapist offering online coaching session. We're going to use this message and redesign it or retweak this message to ensure that it grabs attention using these 6 frameworks. Now, the message here is a very basic one, and it reads, as a therapist, my goal is to provide you with the right support to live a more fulfilling life. So let's see how we are going to use these 6 frameworks and tweak this message to become more persuasive and grab attention in the first 7 to 10 seconds. The number 1 way is to educate with statistics. Numbers catches people's attention to make comparison. Comparison help people gain perspective, and perspective help them paint a picture of the situation, making the message more relatable and easier to grab. So an example will be, 1 in 3 patients feel like therapy didn't work for them, but often it's because they weren't fully engaged in the process. It's not about being present in a session, but it's about, then you can go ahead and put in the work and how your process is different as a therapist. Number 2 is challenging false belief. By challenging their assumption or their false belief, it automatically sends a trigger in the mind of your audience to want to know why you are opposing what they believe is correct due to their personal experience. In psychology, this is called the bandwagon effect. So by opposing their assumption or false belief, it helps them lean with rapt attention to know why you think they are wrong. So a good example can be this. If you think you need to know the rules of therapy before seeking help, then you are wrong. Then you can go ahead and talk about the details. Number 3 is to help them see where they have a problem. When you let people know exactly where the problem is, they are wired to think that you have a solution to that problem. What this does is that it builds trust and helps you connect with your audience. So a good example can be this. Most people think that therapy is like taking a pill and expect it to work like magic. As a patient, you have to be actively involved with lots of sharing and being vulnerable. So number 4, start with the end result, the transformation. A good example can be this. If you want the complete benefits of therapy, you want to gain confidence and being able to look at people in the eyes without being anxious, then a session in therapy will help, and then you put in the details. Number 5 is use a metaphor for comparison. A good example would be this. Going to therapy is like taking your car to a mechanic. You don't need to know what's wrong. You just describe the strange noise it makes and they figure it out themselves. In therapy, you share what you're feeling and the therapist helps by finding the root of the problem. The last one here, connect with emotion. A good example of this can be, do you feel like you're going to therapy and not seeing real changes? Same fears and anxiety, and still can get along with your better half? And then you continue with that. You show empathy when you make your message connect with emotion. They believe that when you understand how they feel, they will trust you enough to become open to working with you. I believe with these examples, you will be able to not only tell what you do, but to say it in a way that gets attention and get your audience interested in what you offer.